Good morning, grade 5. How are you? I hope you're all fine. Today's lesson is about summarizing. Our skill is to summarize. What does it mean, summarize? To summarize is to write a text or a story in a short form. Okay? How to transform a big or a large text to a short text. This skill is that you have to find the main idea in each paragraph, then you join them all together in your own words. In this way, you will be writing only the main events of the story, okay, in the correct order. Let's see. When you summarize a story, you briefly retell it in your own words. So, there are lots of words that we can prevent, that we can cancel in a text, okay? For that, we choose only the main idea in a paragraph. You explain when and where the story takes place, who the main characters are, and the most important story events. Okay, so the most important things is to mention who are the characters, to mention the setting, where and when the story takes place, and then we have to mention the plot which is the events, the main events of the story. Okay, in this way you join all the events or the main ideas together in your own words, and you will have the summarizing done. Let's see here. I will show you this exercise. Let's read together this short story, and then I'll show you how we are summarizing it. So, Sarko lived on an island in the middle of a lake as big as a sea. Look at this introduction. Okay, what is the important information here? That Sarko lived on an island. Is it important to say in the middle of the lake? Is it important to say as big as a sea? This is not important. The most important thing is to know that Sarko lived on an island. Okay? Without saying in the middle of a lake, you know that the island is a place that is all surrounded with water. So it's not important to say in the middle of the lake and as big as a sea. The important idea is Sarko lived on an island. Okay? So every morning he would paddle out in his canoe to check the fishing lines that he and his parents had set the night before. What's the canoe? The canoe is a small boat they used for fishing. Many mornings he was joined by his friend. Here we have another character. Okay, this character, he joined him to fish in many mornings. Tiny, her family and his often fished together. One morning, while Sarko and Tiny were checking the fishing lines, a huge storm suddenly blew in. Where is the important event here? The strong event, that a huge storm suddenly blew in. Do you see how I am underlining my main ideas? Okay, I underline my main ideas, so then when I want to write, I know which ideas to include. The lake began to pitch with waves. On the other end of the lake, they could see lightning bolts crack the sky. When I describe what I see, like when I see lightning, I see crack in the sky, this means I am describing the situation of the storm, right? So this is not important. The main idea is that there was a huge storm, but describing the storm is not important for us. okay? We take only the main idea. We need briefly, مختصر. Quick, yelled out Tiny as she paddled alongside Sarko. Let's paddle together in your canoe so we can get to shore quickly. So now, after the huge happened, what do you think they will do? They will paddle fast to get to the shore quickly. So did you see how many lines we skipped? We cancelled all this. We cancelled all this here. This is a good idea. Sarko steadied his canoe so that Tiny could safely jump from her canoe to his. Then they both started racing. The rain was falling so heavily that they could barely see the shoreline ahead of them. The waves got bigger and bigger. See, we are describing. We don't include it in the summary. Always the description, we can cross it. Eventually, one of the waves flipped the canoe over. Sarko and Tiny found themselves struggling to swim in the cold. Here is a main idea, because there is a new event, there is a new action. What is it? Is that a huge or giant wave, it flipped the canoes, and what happened? It tossed or threw Sarko and his friend in the water, so they struggled to swim in the cold rock. They had to swim because of the storm and the big waves, it's hard to swim. They couldn't see over the waves. The thunder roared. See, we are describing. The thunder roared. They felt as though they were doomed. Doomed, it's like their fate or their destiny. They felt themselves, it's like this is their end. They are dying. This is the end of their life. When suddenly a giant turtle came to their rescue. So, what is the most important event in the ending? Is that what happened? What happened suddenly? A giant turtle came to their rescue. Means this turtle came to save them. Okay? So now look at these underlined ideas. We will join them together in our own word. Don't copy the words as they are. We don't copy, but you write it in your own way. Let's see, what do we have here? Sarko and his family live on an island. Okay, I said only island, not middle of the lake, not as big as only island. They fish every day with Tiny, Sarko's friend. Did you see how I introduced his friend? One day, the storm blew in suddenly. This is the main event here. So we have they lived on an island, then their friend Tiny joined them, then a storm blew in suddenly. What's next? Sarko and Tiny paddled fast to reach the shore. As I told you, after the storm blew in, what will happen? What is the next event? They would paddle to reach the shore. So they paddled fast to reach the shore, but a huge wave tossed them in the water. When they are paddling to reach the shore, what happened to them? A huge wave flipped the canoe and threw them where? In the water, so they had to swim in the cold water. But a huge wave tossed them in the water. They had to swim in the rough water until what happened in the end? Until a giant turtle came to save them. Did you see how I connected the events together? This is in brief what happened in the story, and it's very abbreviated. It's shortened, means it's written in a short form. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. We could write them in only one paragraph. Did you see how short it is? We take only the main ideas, the main events, and we write them in our own words. Okay, I hope that is clear for you. Your homework in this skill is written in your agenda is that your story. Of course, you took your books from the school, right? Your story is The Paper Dragon. I want you to read the story. Okay? Read all the story, and I want you to summarize it. Summarize the story means write the story in a short form. Clear? Write it on your comprehension copybook, please. Thank you. Good luck.